Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? Good, I'm very good. And we're live on Facebook. Let me know where you're watching from. Hey Laura. Hey Ideen. Hey Isaac. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. If you're watching this live, let me know where you're watching from. Colombia. Canada. Italy. Hey Laura. Thanks for joining me as always. We're good. Hope you're good as well. California, Brazil, Australia. It's 1 a.m. in England. No worries, Isaac. You can watch this back. Argentina, Canada, Texas, Ohio, US, Connecticut. Cool. No worries, Ideen. Hey Patrick, good to see you. Hey Natalia from Brazil, thank you for joining me. Perth, Australia, Germany, Spain. Lots of people from Argentina. Alright, cool. Well, this is going to be just a hangout, so we're just going to hang out for the next hour or so. And I'm here to answer any questions that you may have about veganism, activism, if you have any questions about AV, so just let me know. UK, where are you? I'm in Melbourne, Australia at the moment. And it's 10 a.m. here. For those that are asking who we are and if we're part of the Anonymous or not, AV is an animal rights organization. So we speak up for the animals, and we usually hold demonstrations on the street. During the lockdown, our work has been affected, so I've been doing these live streams every week. And yeah, so we're here to talk about the animals and veganism. If you're interested, just continue watching. Hey Stacy, hola. I haven't watched that video you sent me, Stacy. Haven't watched the. Ooh, what the fuck is that? Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. How's going out there with the corona? Here's getting so bad. Oh, really? I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't hear. Doesn't seem like it's getting worse. Seems like it's getting better. They're easing the restrictions a bit more. So as of 22nd of June, which is about a week, I think a lot of places will reopen. Restaurants will be able to have more people. At the moment, it's like they're only allowed to have 20 people inside the restaurants. So they're going to be able to allow more people in, and then places like hair salons and nail salons and spas and gyms and all of that is reopening. So it seems like it's not as bad here. Are all those hackers still following AV? I don't think they're hackers. I think they're people that are looking for hackers. Because we've been getting lots of messages saying, can you hack into my wife's email? I think she's cheating on me. And things like that. So if there were hackers, they wouldn't be asking us to do that. But yeah, we're outreaching them. It's amazing how some people haven't realized what we do yet, and they're still following us. Yeah, I don't think we have the second wave here yet. Thank you. Love you too. We're doing a cube tomorrow in Cleveland. That's cool. Good luck, Tanya. Hey, Alejandra. All right, so let's take some questions. Let me know if you have any questions about veganism or about doing outreach, about activism. If you have any questions about AV, just let me know. Yeah, absolutely, Isaac. They will still be exposed to our posts and comments, so it's good. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Cheryl. We love you too. Thanks, Cynthia. What ways can we safely perform activism during lockdown? I guess the safest and the most effective and the easiest way of doing activism would be to be active online and just do as much as you can. So making posts online, creating videos, and also also, responding to comments from non-vegans and basically outreaching them online. I always encourage everyone, if they have free time, to go on our posts on the AV page on Instagram and Facebook and basically help our social media team to respond to the comments from non-vegans, because it's basically, I don't think it's exactly the same, and I personally prefer it when I'm speaking to someone in person, because there is a lot that gets missing, and it's kind of an artificial way of communicating with someone when you're behind your computer. So I don't find it as effective, but that's all we can do. And if somebody leaves a comment and says something like, but animals are here for us, then that's an objection that you can respond to. So it's very similar to when you're doing outreach on the street. So when you see those objections, just go in there and try to outreach them. Yeah, basically that's it. We also introduced Quarantine of Truth, which means, again, doing outreach with people you live with, or doing it on a video call and then recording it. But we haven't received many videos from Quarantine of Truth, and I feel like it's because people don't feel comfortable doing it, which is understandable. But yeah, that's basically what you can do online. Doing activism online is probably one of the safest ways, because your question was about doing it safely. So yeah, just do as much as you can. I'm just amazed by people that join a live stream that like they have no interest in, and they sit through it for an hour. What's the deal with that? Do you have any good resources on turning dogs vegan? I'm eager to turn my dog vegan. Do you know anything about it? I have some articles that I can send you, Isaac, if you just send me a message after the live stream, just to remind me. But with dogs, I can actually give you advice, because I do have that experience. With cats, I don't have the experience, but with dogs, I do. So you don't necessarily need them to go through a transitional period, just like you don't need to go through a transitional period when you become vegan. So it's not like you have to mix their non-vegan food with the vegan food slowly, and then change the ratios. You don't need to do any of that. So there are some really good dog food that are vegan, pet food that is vegan. Dry food as well as canned food. I think for dogs, a mixture of dried vegan food and something that you cook at home if you can. Mixing those together would be the best. So if you're cooking for them, and you can also just not use the dry food, so you could just cook for your dog, that would be the healthiest. So the best thing would be a base of rice or potatoes and sweet potatoes. They love sweet potatoes. And then you can cook lentils. Lentils would be the best. I wouldn't recommend other beans, because it might affect their digestive system and they might get pain, and it could actually get dangerous for dogs if they get bloated and things like that. So lentils would be the best. Make sure you cook them really well. And then add veggies like carrots, broccoli, what else? Spinach, kale, whatever you have basically. And then you can add a little bit of tomato paste or something to make it a bit yummier. And I used to always top it up with a little bit of flaxseed for my dog. Just sprinkle a little bit of flaxseed on top to make sure that they get all their essential fatty acids. So there are things that you need to avoid with dogs. So if you're cooking, onion, garlic, especially onion. I mean, a lot of dogs can eat it and nothing happens, but I don't think you should take the risk. Onion, garlic, chilies and spices. They shouldn't be eating too much spices. Avocado is not good for them. Raisins and grapes are not good for them. Chocolate obviously is not good for them. What else? Apples. You can give them apples, but make sure you take the seed out. That's basically it, to my knowledge. And in general, dogs should not be eating sugary stuff. So don't give your dog ice cream or vegan cookie or anything like that. If you want to make them some homemade treats, the best thing would be mixing oatmeal with some bananas and peanut butter or some kind of almond butter or any nut butter, and then just bake that. That would be good. You can give them bananas. You can give them any fruit other than grapes. But yeah, don't ever give them like sweet confectionery stuff. And that's it. That's how you can help your dog go vegan. I don't know about that organization, so I'm gonna have to look into it. Why did the fast food companies make the vegan options disgusting? With the new plant meat available, it was disappointing to try a new Hungry Jack's option, like a setup. Elizabeth, I actually disagree. So for anyone who's not in Australia, Hungry Jack's is our, Burger King. We call it Hungry Jack's here. But I actually disagree. I really like the, Rebel Whopper. That's the plant-based patty. And now they've got vegan cheese and vegan mayo. I mean, it's obviously trash and you shouldn't be eating that. But every now and then, if I feel like a burger, it's cheap and I actually like it because it does have that smoky vibe to it. So I think it's just a matter of, just preference. Like, you don't like it, I like it. I also have tattooed fingers with names of my loves. That's cool, Jen. I don't have people's names. Mine is basically all my, my values in life or principles. So I've got love, freedom, justice, truth, loyalty, and then I've got 3 more to go. Stop spamming your question and maybe it would get answered, Stacy said. I like that. Yeah, because questions get buried. Even though I'm trying my best to read each one of your comments, sometimes they get buried. My dogs love all vegan food. Yeah, dogs are the best. They are so easygoing. Cynthia, your cat can be vegan. If you like, send me a message and I will send you some articles. I was getting into details with dogs because I have that experience. I've never had cats, so but I know plenty of vegans that have cats and they feed them vegan food, and I have looked into it myself. I have some really good resources I can send you. I don't know if we have anyone from our social media team that are moderating. If you have access to the resources, I would appreciate it if you just drop it in the comments. Alejandro, I don't know if you're watching still, if you have access to those links and you can drop it, that would be nice. Otherwise, Cynthia, you can you can send me a message. You should add compassion to the other finger. No, I don't necessarily, that doesn't necessarily resonate with me. Compassion, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna get compassion. The next one is gonna be respect, and then I've got 2 more to go, which I will figure out. I've been waiting for my tattoo artist to get back to work after the lockdown, so I'm gonna get that done soon. Everyone keeps commenting on my hair. You guys like it. My friend wants to go vegan and she was asking me about Botox. Is there vegan options available for those kind of treatments? Much love and respect. Not to my knowledge. I don't know what your name is. Because although a lot of the fillers and injections are actually synthetic, so they don't have any animal ingredients in them, they are, I think, always tested on animals. So I guess the alternative to that would be eating a really good diet, drinking lots of water, and then investing in really good skincare. And also like just looking after your skin, you know, just getting a facial, and just, you know, you can even do it at home, and then getting enough rest, drinking water, exercising, so that your skin stays nice and young. But no, I don't think that those injections are vegan. Hopefully in future, maybe. There are other skin treatments that are vegan, like there are so many different kinds of light therapies and things that don't involve any injections, so that could also be an alternative. What's your opinion on Gary Francione? I don't really have an opinion because I don't know that person too well. So I've never followed their work, so I don't know. Are cosmetics only vegan if they say cruelty-free and no animal products? Can it be not tested on animals even if it doesn't have the cruelty-free sticker? Yeah, it can be, Isaac. That's a really good question, because sometimes I think the companies need to go through some kind of what's the word? Like they would have to apply to get that logo. So there would have to be, their work or their products has to be reviewed by I don't know, an organization or something. And I believe that costs them some money. So some companies choose not to do that. Excuse me. And maybe there are other reasons why they don't choose to do that. But I know plenty of cosmetic brands or skincare brands that don't have animal products and are not tested, and they don't have the logo. So when you go on their website, then you can find out, and they say, yeah, all of our ingredients are plant-based or synthetic, and we never test on animals. So they don't necessarily put it on the packaging. And I guess that doesn't make it easy for us to find out what's vegan and what's not, but there are like websites online where you can go and look up cruelty-free brands or vegan brands. Or if you come across a brand that you really like, then you can just go to their website, and if they don't have any information, just contact them directly and ask them. For example, Aesop, which is an Australian brand, and it's really good because it's all like organic and natural ingredients, very high quality. Nowhere on the bottle or on the packaging it says vegan or cruelty free or anything like that, but they are 100% vegan. And I didn't know that for years. And then when I found out, I was really happy. So yeah, you just always need to check with the company. Let me not ignore these guys here. Do you have any vegan tattoos? Yes, I have the big one on my leg, which is, if you have gone on our website, it's the t-shirt that we sell, the red pill, blue pill. That was from my tattoo. So I've got the mask, red pill, blue pill, and I've got lots of animals. That's my only vegan tattoo or animal related tattoo. What's your opinion on John Venus? I saw a comment about him here as well. Again, I didn't know that guy too well. I don't watch a lot of YouTube, and I don't follow a lot of, and I never did follow a lot of these famous vegans online, and I don't follow their stories. Like I focus too much on my work and what I'm doing, and the way that I've been educating myself in terms of activism and outreach. I have learned so much more from people that are not vegan or animal rights activists. Like I have learned a lot from psychologists, psychotherapists, inspirational, people that do TED Talks, and I have learned so much from those people, and I never really followed any of these famous vegans on YouTube, so I didn't know who John Venus is. I knew that he's like a bodybuilder or something. That's all I knew. And I've talked about this a lot, and I have made lots of videos. Yesterday or the day before, I put up a little video as well on my Instagram that talks about the difference between plant-based and vegan. And I believe with people like John Venus and Tim Sheaf and other people that are, just bodybuilders or athletic people that are doing it for performance, or they're doing it for health, they're never really vegan. They're always plant-based, almost always plant-based people that then go back to eating animal products. And I think that's really important to recognize that difference, and don't just label everyone with vegan. I think there was a girl, one of those YouTubers, that also, she was saying she was vegan. You guys know, so maybe you can help me with the name. And then she started eating fish, and somebody saw it in a video or something. It was like pretty much, she basically got caught, and then she came out and she talked about it, and now she's not vegan anymore. So all of these people do it only for health, because they want to be healthy, and they realize, they learn about veganism, and they're like, oh, eating a plant-based diet is really healthy according to science, and so I'm going to do that. And then they call themselves vegan, but because they're not convinced on the ethics of it, it's very easy for them to go back to eating animal products as soon as somebody provides some kind of information that sounds good to them, or as soon as they feel like their performance is not as good, or their energy level is not as good, or they start getting sick or whatever, they always blame it on veganism. which is what happened with Tim Schiff as well. So he was becoming so obsessed with his health. I mean, the guy was drinking his own piss, so maybe he's not the best person to use as an example, but people become so obsessed with their health that, you know, like as soon as they wake up one day and they don't feel like full of energy, or they have a little bit of headache, they're like, oh, I need to fix this immediately. And then they do all these hardcore cleanses and juice fasts and this and that and going raw, and they go to the extreme, and then what happens is they end up on the other end of the spectrum, where they completely discredit veganism and they go back to eating eggs, fish, whatever it might be. Yeah, so I think that's basically my opinion on all of those people. They're just plant-based people. They were never fucking vegan. I don't know a single person that is truly vegan that has gone back. All of them were plant-based people, and they were only doing it for, even if they thought they felt bad for the animals, they were really doing it for their health or environment. And that's why they went back to eating animal products. If you're convinced that animal cruelty is wrong, there is no fucking way you can go back. Just like if I know being a racist is bad, how can I ever go back to being a racist? Like if I'm convinced that this is the way to go, this is the right thing to do, how can I ever go back to being a racist? And that's the same with animals. What vegan skincare products do you recommend? Like I said, Aesop. I mean, it's a little bit expensive, but if you can afford it, I mean, for me, my skincare products and my makeups last forever, so I just always try to go for good quality because I know I'm gonna use it for 6 months or a year. Aesop is good. Another brand that is good is Dermalogica, and it's not fully vegan, but they do have plenty of vegan products. They're really professional. Like that's a brand that spas use. So especially for people that are a bit older, like now that I'm 33, I'm starting to use more skincare products. When I was in my 20s, I wasn't really doing much. Another brand that's good and is more affordable is Tarte. Again, they're not fully vegan, but they have plenty of vegan products and everything is labeled as vegan, so it's really easy. These are basically the brands that I really like and I use. What about Alba Botanical? They sell it at mainstream stores. I've never heard of that brand. I'm sure there are plenty of skincare brands out there. Where do you get the vitamins that are not found in animals? Cody, what vitamins are you referring to? I'm just curious. Can you tell me which vitamins you think you need to get? Giving up from Nando's is hard. Well, think about all those chickens that are being killed just so you can eat a meal. Can you imagine how hard it must be for them to go through all of that just so you can sit down for 5 minutes and eat them? B12. Okay, so B12, you'd be surprised to know that most of the B12 is actually sold to animal agriculture. So factory farms are buying lots of B12 because they inject animals with B12. So the animals that are being killed for human consumption, such as chickens, cows, and pigs, are injected with B12. And so you can just go directly to the pharmacy and buy either a B12 injection and inject yourself. You can do it, or you can go to your doctor, do it twice a year and you're good. Or you can take a spray, you can take a tablet. Depending on the dose, you can take it every day or once a week, or you might not even need it that often. The thing with B12 is that we store it in our body for years and years. So you might not even need B12 when you go vegan. But if you do, like I said, instead of filtering it through an animal's body, you can just go directly to the pharmacy and buy a vegan version of it and just use that. What do I say to people who argue I don't care about animals? Should we even try and outreach them? Isaac, the only thing that you can say to someone that says I don't care is to ask them, when did you stop caring? And that's the only thing you can say, because if someone doesn't care, they don't care. And with asking them that question, they might either just be like, I never cared, and so you know that there's no hope for that person at this moment, or that might actually make them think. So even if they walk off, they might think about it for days. But really, that's the only thing you can say to someone that says, I just don't care. How many years have you been vegan? I've been vegan for 7 years now. I had to think about it. What made you go vegan? I watched footage from a fur farm where beautiful foxes were being skinned alive, and just hearing their screams made me really angry. And so I made the connection that it's absurd that people kill these beautiful individuals and skin them alive just so they can wear a jacket, and they think it's fashionable, but it looks actually disgusting. And when I realized how unnecessary that is, I also made the connection with how unnecessary it is for me in this day and age to consume animal products, to consume the flesh of an animal that was raped and tortured, or to consume what comes out of their bodies, eggs or milk products or anything like that. And yeah, it was really easy for me to then make that connection, and that's how I went vegan. I don't get these people that are laughing. Like, what part of what I'm saying you find funny? Or are you just nervous? Because, yeah, I just don't understand. Well, if you don't speak English, you might need to just log off, because I'm going to be speaking English during this live stream. What do you recommend for outreaching family members? I do better with strangers when there aren't as many emotions involved. I feel you. I mean, I think we all feel the same way. There is something about family. They just automatically become more defensive. I don't know why. I don't know how that is, but I also find it more difficult to outreach my family, even friends that are not vegan. So I don't really have any tips to give you. I just think that we should treat our family the same as a stranger. And when it comes to talking about veganism or animal rights, we should just speak the same way, and just leave it with them. If they're not ready to be vegan, then they're not ready. There's nothing you can do. There is no trick to it, really. What do you say to people that only eat animal products that are going to be wasted? I guess the thing is, what do you mean by they're going to be wasted? Because sometimes people just say that. But they are still creating the demand for it. So let's say you go to a restaurant and you order a meal vegan and they fuck it up and they bring it out with dairy, cheese or something. So in that case, if you think, well, if I don't eat this, it's going to go to waste anyway because they're going to put it in the bin, I might as well eat it. One, you're still promoting the idea that eating animals is okay, because the animal is already dead. So whether it's wasted in your stomach or in a bin doesn't matter to them. They are already dead. They died for nothing. So to them, that's how they feel. And the second thing is, why would you want to put all of that rape, torture, fear, stress in your body? Don't you love and respect yourself enough to only put nourishing food in your body? Why are you putting all of that torture and fear in your body? So that's how I would respond to someone that says, I only eat food, animal products or whatever that is going to be wasted. Even people that go dumpster diving, and they just, that's basically products that has been thrown out by the supermarket or something. But even in that case, again, this applies. One, you're promoting it, that it's okay, because people that are there with you can see that you're doing that and you tell others that you do that. So you're saying it's okay to continue doing that. And the other thing is, you're putting it in your body and you don't need to be doing that. You can just eat the fruits and vegetables and the plant food that are being thrown away. Yeah, I know that's not new. We've had these people following us on the AV account for over a week now. And yeah, they think we are hackers. We absorb the energy of the animal the fear went through being killed. That's okay, Isaac. I understand that it might be late, so yes, I will put this up on my YouTube today or tomorrow, so you can watch the entire thing back. No worries. And it will be on my Instagram for 24 hours anyway. So yeah, if you have to go, you can watch it back. Is your family vegan? I'm the only one. Not my immediate family, so my mom and my brother are not vegan. Well, they're not vegan yet. And I have cousins that are vegan. And that's it. I don't know if you had the chance to read it on the other live streams when you were doing the UK tour that got cancelled. Are you going to be doing the tour after COVID? Yeah, so with the tour that Paul and I were doing, everything was cancelled because of obviously COVID-19 and the lockdowns. So now we're expecting to go back on tour. It's probably going to be Paul. We haven't really discussed the details, but I don't think I will be traveling for the rest of the year. But if if they allow international flights and the rules everywhere in the world is going to be, like getting better in terms of the restrictions, I think Paul might go back on tour, and yeah, so he will definitely do the week long event in UK, and then with the other big campaigns like the week in Amsterdam and the New York event, we might actually do that next year because that requires a lot of planning. So that might not happen. But if we do plan the tour, if it's going to happen this year, we're definitely going to announce it as soon as we have the details. Good night, Isaac. Thanks for joining me. What do you think would be a good way to approach a non-vegan partner who blames inconvenience and what their family would make for them for not going vegan? So you can just ask them, do you think that convenience is good enough of a reason for you to continue supporting animal cruelty? It might be a little bit of an inconvenience for you to get up, drive or walk to the store, buy your own food, and cook your own food. You're saying partner, so I'm assuming you're not talking about a 10-year-old. So they could be doing their own shopping, their own cooking, and if they are not, for whatever reason, able to do that, if they can't afford it, then they could be asking their family to prepare something for them that's vegan. And the thing is, almost all non-vegan families, when they eat a meal, there is some kind of carbs like rice, potatoes, bread, something, or veggies, or a salad. Like there are options, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. It can be just rice and beans, simple. So it is an excuse that they're coming up with, and you can just basically ask that question, just like you asked me. Bring up the fact that does convenience justify unnecessary killing and suffering. The other thing is, like I said, I don't think that person should be that young, because if they're in a relationship. But even with young people, younger individuals like teenagers that are living with their parents and they may not be financially independent, my number one advice to everyone is that you need to try to be financially independent as much as possible. If you get money from your parents, try to save as much as you can. If this is a value to you and you really care about the justice that we're talking about for the animals, then you're going to make it happen. So you should put that as your first priority. So you would want to save money so that you can afford your own food and you're going to be doing your own shopping, so that there is no excuse. And the message that you're going to be sending to your family by doing that as a young individual is going to be so powerful as well. If you show them that you're saving money because you're willing to eat rice and beans and potatoes every day, but you're not willing to put tortured bodies in your body, do you know the impact that would have on your family? That would be huge. So I really recommend, because we do get lots of questions from younger individuals all the time, teenagers that say similar things. They can't be vegan because of their family. And my number one advice for them is always try to be financially independent so that your parents cannot dictate what you eat. Hi Sal, is there such a thing as 99% or 98% vegan? Do you think there is such a thing as 98% anti-racist or 99% anti-rape? You're either for it or against it, right? You can't be a racist on only Saturdays. You can't be okay with raping children only twice a month. So no, we don't have a 99 or 98% vegan. The thing is, we do live in a non-vegan world, so there are things that are inevitable. So there are things that you can't avoid, such as certain kind of medication that you might need to take because otherwise your life will be impacted by it. And there's no vegan alternative for that medication, right? Or you go to the supermarket and you do your shopping, your money is going to support a non-vegan business or corporation. And that's something you can't avoid, right? You might pay rent to a landlord that is not vegan. So indirectly, you're supporting their lifestyle. But that doesn't make you 99.9% vegan. You're vegan as much as possible and practicable. So you do your best to avoid animal cruelty to the best of your ability. And then you accept the fact that this is a non-vegan world. And there are times where you can't avoid supporting some kind of animal cruelty. And the medication is the best example. Yeah, I was just explaining what's happening here on our AV Instagram. So people are confused about who we are, and that's why the comments are just irrelevant. But at the same time, I don't feel like we should just block everyone, because they can still listen and they can still be outreached and they can still learn. So until they realize that we're an animal rights organization and we talk about veganism, they are welcome to join us. Should meat imitation like vegan sausages, etc. still be a thing? For me, it's kind of surreal. What's the point for a vegan to eat meatless sausage? Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't go vegan because I didn't like the taste of chicken or sausage or ham. I went vegan because it was the right thing to do. I went vegan because I couldn't justify supporting the killing of innocent animals. It wasn't because I didn't like the taste. I enjoyed eating those things and I thought they were delicious. So if we can create the same products, the same flavors, the same textures, I don't see why that's an issue. Because you're talking about a sausage. A sausage is a highly processed product. Doesn't look like an animal, doesn't represent an animal. They use so many different ingredients to create sausages or other processed food. So the question should be, why are they trying to make an animal look like food? You know, they chop up the animal body and then they process it and they mix it with all these plant-based spices and ingredients and they turn it into something that doesn't look anything like an animal. So I personally don't see an issue with these products, and I sometimes enjoy eating it as well. Like the tofurkey ham that I recently tried, I was blown away. It was the closest thing to ham that I remember, you know, the smokiness and the smell, everything. So I don't promote that kind of thing because it's just not healthy for you, but that's your choice. If you want to eat, you know, if a vegan says, I just want to eat that kind of food all day, that's fine with me. It's up to them how they want to eat, because it's completely up to you how you want to treat your own body. And as long as nobody else is getting hurt, I don't care. But I personally don't think we should be consuming a lot of that stuff just because it's not healthy. But every now and then, if you want to eat it, I don't see a problem with trying the vegan chicken, the vegan patties, vegan sausage, all of that stuff. The thing is, I never call it imitation. I never call it fake or faux. I never say faken. I hate that fucking word. I never say fake chicken. I never say imitation meat. I always say vegan, whatever. Because I don't think what we're eating is fake and what they're eating is real. So I think it's really important how we say these things and how we communicate it, because words are very powerful. So to say that they're eating the real food and we're eating the fake stuff, we're actually disrespecting the animals. So yeah, again, I don't see a problem with those products. What you do inspired me to go vegan a year ago. Oh, thank you. That's beautiful to know. No, those people that say I occasionally eat something non-vegan, they're just not vegan. They're mainly plant-based. That's how I would word it. They're mainly plant-based, which doesn't mean anything to the animals, by the way. Again, they're doing it for other reasons, because if you felt that that was the wrong thing to do, then you couldn't justify eating a little bit of egg in a cookie even once a year. You think I've been vegan for 7 years, many of you have been vegan for longer. Surely if we are just on Instagram and we see a really delicious looking cake that is not vegan, we're like, oh, that looks yummy. That doesn't mean we're going to go eat it, because we know that an animal or multiple animals suffered for that. So you can never justify doing it occasionally. Those people, again, are just plant-based. No, I don't feel bad. I just don't understand why they are laughing. I don't feel bad. Like, I'm not offended or anything. It takes a lot more than that to offend me. But yeah, I'm just not sure why. Because nothing I said today has been funny. I don't think. Another thing is, I understand that many of them speak Spanish. So maybe they're not understanding what I say. Anyway, I'm not sure what to do with this situation. I literally can't find a single comment that is relevant to this live stream. Oh, that was a nice crack. I don't know if you guys heard it. Yeah, let me know if you have any more questions. I'm gonna cut off here on my personal Instagram in a minute, so I'm gonna go live again, just so you know. You just ask your question, just like you wrote that comment. Just ask your question there. Is it okay to explain to friends who post animal-based food on their social media to stop doing that, and if they don't, to unfollow them? Is it a bit too harsh today? I did it in 2 cases so far. I don't think that's too harsh. I have done that, and I have said the same thing. I have explained it to them. So this is how I would do it. I would message them and I would say, I understand that you're not vegan. Send them information first. Try to encourage them to look into it so that maybe they can go vegan. But then even if they're not vegan, you can tell them, I can't be friends with you if you continue to promote animal cruelty. So I'm just letting you know, obviously you're free to do whatever you want, I'm just saying that this is within my boundaries, that I would unfollow you or unfriend you if you continue to do that. And make sure that when you do that, when you say that to them, you stick to your words and you make that happen. So you do unfollow them. I don't think it's harsh. I think it's just. Okay, I have to go live again. We're back. Just waiting to go live on my page. Oh yeah, we are. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you heard exactly what I said, but I don't think it's harsh. I think it's just. I encourage you to do it, and I encourage everyone else to do the same. It's kind of the same thing as when we hang out with our non-vegan friends and family, and we set the boundaries that, you know, we want to eat with them if they consume animal products at the table. I see that as a similar thing to that. Any recommendations for vegan careers to pursue? Vegan careers, well, your options might be limited based on where you are. If you can apply to work at a vegan business, it could be a vegan restaurant, a vegan supermarket, or whatever, vegan hair salon, I don't know. Again, we do live in a non-vegan world, so there are not many options. If not, then if you can and if you are interested, you can start your own business. You could start from something very small, depending on what you're passionate about, and just, yeah, start your own vegan business. You know, these days you can do many things online. So you can start a vegan business online. If you have the money and you have the passion, you can start a little shop. You can sell whatever vegan products you like. You can start a little vegan cafe or a restaurant. There are many things you could do. You know, I have so many ideas. If I was to start a business and if I had the money, I have so many ideas on the things that I would like to do. Veganic farming? What about that, Paul? You want to talk about veganic farming? Your question is not very clear. Yeah, cool. Double think. We can see that. I can see that on my phone as well. Everything that you posted. It's not the first time I'm seeing those emojis. No worries, Nicole. Good night. Thanks for joining me. Veganic vertical farming, small things like herbs, chilies, mushrooms. It was a suggestion for a career. Yeah, of course. Yeah, veganic farming would be cool. Yeah, so that's another thing you could do. You could grow vegetables and fruit. I've been wanting to grow some veggies in my balcony. At the start of the lockdown, I decided, and I still haven't done it. I feel like that would be very rewarding to be able to grow your own food. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. Alright, let me know if you have any questions again about veganism, about activism. Again, for anyone on Instagram that is watching me live, the page that you're following is an animal rights organization. So we fight for the rights of animals. We fight against animal cruelty, and we encourage people to go vegan. If you have any questions about veganism, let me know. All we need is love. I like that. Love your rings. Thank you. I can't speak English, please, in Spanish. I just find that hilarious. This is an English page. Just because you don't speak English, you're expecting me to speak Spanish. What's the deal with that? You can ask the questions here in the comments. Dealing with family, you can watch the live stream back. I already responded to that, so if you missed it, after this is over, you can watch the live stream back. Alright, I think favorite animal rights organization. Is that a serious question? If it is, it would be AV, obviously, because why would I be running AV if it wasn't my favorite? Asala, that's a hell of a rock on your finger. Yeah, it is literally a rock. It's a moonstone. I'm guessing you're talking about that one. Alright, more questions. How do I get rid of these questions? Oh, okay. I know how it's done now. I learned something new. Jackfruit or seitan? Seitan. I'm kind of over jackfruit. When I first discovered jackfruit, I was really excited. I made so much pulled jackfruit. Like I would make it every day. But now I'm kind of over it. But a good seitan is good. I haven't tried making seitan though. I have heard that it's a very long process. But yeah, I'm excited to make seitan. How do you avoid getting angry, especially dealing with family and friends? How do I avoid? I don't think we should avoid getting angry. You know, anger is a very natural, normal, healthy emotion. To feel angry is completely natural. I mean, if it's justified, obviously. But angry doesn't mean yelling and screaming and throwing things and being, violent. So I think that's maybe where sometimes people get confused. So you can be angry, you can get frustrated, all of that. But the way you express it is very important. What I have been practicing is to recognize those feelings, the negative feelings. So if I feel angry, and try to take a step back if I need to, take a breath and, just be in charge of my emotions, if that makes sense. So that when I come back into the conversation, I'm calm, collected, and patient. It's not easy to achieve. Obviously, you need to be very in tune with yourself and your emotions. But one thing that I have learned is that if you have no expectations from people, you would never be disappointed, you would never be frustrated, you would never be angry. So if you let go of your expectations I don't want this to get really deep and spiritual, but it's very simple. If you just work on not having expectations, and then you won't feel those strong emotions. You will feel them, but there will be just these, passing emotions that you can control. And with our work, I know it's different because we're literally talking about an injustice, but you can't expect your family and friends to get it just because you get it, or you can't expect them to be ready when you're ready. So you have to, I'm not saying it's okay, but to be able to, for you to be happier and to be okay and to be able to live and be an effective activist, you need to understand and accept that they might not get it, they might not be ready. You do the best that you can, but know that by being angry and being reactive, you're not going to help them get there. Holding someone accountable is not the same as shaming them or trying to guilt trip them or getting angry at them. Holding someone accountable is something that can be done. I always say holding someone accountable is the most compassionate, loving, kindest thing you can do to someone. I want people to do that for me all the time. I want them to hold me accountable. Like, I want Paul, my friends, to hold me accountable for what I do because I want to be better. So holding them accountable, your family, doesn't equal getting angry at them, swearing at them, getting pissed off. It's just something that I guess you get better at when you do more activism, you have more experience in doing outreach, but also it's very important for activists to do work on themselves, to work on our issues and to face our own demons and just being able to control our own emotions, our own reactions, our own actions, so that we're not just these irrational, reactive people. I hope that helps. Seitan is super easy. Stacy, can you send me a good recipe if you have one? If it's that easy? Because I haven't tried it yet. I've tried holding my friends accountable, but most of the time they don't even want to talk about it or watch documentaries. That's when I feel detached and don't know what to talk after that. I understand. I can completely relate to that. At some point, I think it comes down to whether you are able to accept them and have them in your life as non-vegans or not. And either way, I don't think there is anything wrong with your decision. Are you feeding your dog also vegan? If yes, do you have any advice? If you go and watch the live stream back, I did cover this and I got into details on how to help your dog be vegan. So just watch it back. All right, bye, Aideen. Thank you for joining me. Good night. Okay, let's see if there are more questions here. Do you find it difficult to congratulate new vegans considering it's a base standard? That's a really good question. I like that question. I never do. Yeah, I know what you're saying, because it's like it should be the case. Like, we're not doing anything special, right? If I'm not kicking little kids in the face, I don't need a fucking medal, do I? I'm just a human being, just a sane human being. So why do vegans need some kind of a reward? Now, when you're doing outreach on the street, I think even I might sometimes get too excited and emotional, and I might say something that is like, oh, cool. Are you serious? You're going vegan? That's awesome. I might do that. I don't necessarily like that. I know I have done it. Yeah, I don't think we should do that. First of all, they're not doing it for me. So why am I saying thank you or good on you or whatever? They're doing it for the animals. And they're doing it because it's the right thing to do. So I don't think that they need a medal. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Don't be an animal abuser, be vegan. I like that, Amanda. Okay, someone says, what's veganism? Veganism is avoiding animal exploitation as much as possible and practicable. So basically, staying away from animal cruelty. Animal cruelty happens in meat, dairy, and egg industries. Even if you're buying meat that came from a local farm, even if you're talking about free range organic eggs, and beyond meat, dairy, and eggs, animal cruelty exists in products that you might be buying from the supermarket that have some ingredients in them or they were tested on animals. Vegans also don't buy or wear things that come from animals like cow skin that is turned into leather or fur that came from an animal. We don't wear any of that. Silk, wool, none of that. And vegans also don't go to places that support animal cruelty like zoos. So basically, that's veganism. You do your best as much as possible and practicable to not support animal cruelty with your money. So you don't buy any product that came from an animal, was tested on animal. You don't wear or consume anything that has animal products in them. As easy as that. I like these questions. Why didn't I ever use this option on Instagram? Questions in Spanish. Okay, next question. Do you think vegetarians are making a difference by not eating the flesh of an animal? No, vegetarians are not making a difference. They don't eat the flesh of an animal, but they still eat what comes out of an animal. They still eat eggs, dairy products like cheese and yogurt and butter. They also eat honey. They also wear animal skin. They also buy products that are tested on animals. So vegetarian is just a diet that avoids eating the flesh of an animal, but everything else that comes from an animal, they support. So they're still supporting animal cruelty. They're still living a life that supports animal exploitation. And that's why, in the eyes of the animals, they're not helping the animals who are the victims. Vegetarians are only doing it. Again, if a vegetarian says, I went vegetarian for ethical reasons, they're not being honest, because how is raping a cow and taking their babies from them ethical? Which is what happens in the dairy industry. So if a vegetarian did that because that's all they knew, that's fine. But as soon as they are provided with the facts and they know the truth, if they don't make that distinction, and if they don't go vegan, then they're being a hypocrite. How long ago did you start AV? What made you go vegan? So I said this before, I went vegan after watching fur footage from a fox fur farm, and that was in 2013, and then I started AV with Paul in 2016. If I can't avoid palm oil, is that okay? Yes, palm oil is technically vegan. I know that this is a controversial topic in this movement, and many vegans say you should avoid palm oil, but from my research, palm oil is no worse than any other oil that you can buy in terms of the effect that it has on the environment or on the animals or insects. So it's completely up to you whether you avoid palm oil or not. It doesn't make you a better vegan or a worse vegan. I personally avoid oil as much as possible, again, just because it's not good for you. So when I'm looking at the packaging of a snack and it says oil, I don't care if it's palm oil or sunflower oil. I just don't buy it for the most part. But yeah, if you buy a product that has palm oil in it, that's still vegan. Vegetarians hurt our movement. Yeah, well, vegetarians are still in the same category as non-vegans. I don't think that they need a certain kind of recognition or anything. You're either vegan or you're not. It's not like vegetarian is the gateway, or, it's the step before veganism. You're not vegan and then you go vegan. If animals die without suffering, will you eat the flesh? How can you kill someone, Maria, without them suffering? Do you think it's just? Do you think it's morally okay if I was to take your life, even if it was quick and painless? Would you be willing to die for no reason? Vegetarians are probably worse because they increase their consumption of dairy, eggs, etc. to compensate for the lack of calories. Yeah, Paul, you're right. I have said this before. I 100% agree. I have seen how vegetarians eat, some of them, and they consume so much butter, so much cheese in everything. Dairy cheese, obviously. Cream, yogurt, milk in everything. So it's almost like you said, they want to compensate for the flesh that they're not eating. So they consume so much dairy and sometimes eggs that you could argue that they actually are responsible for the killing of more animals. But regardless, yeah, vegetarian or non-vegan is exactly the same. Doesn't make a difference for the animal. Sal, are you a full-time activist or do you have another job on the side? No, at the moment I'm a full-time activist. I don't have any other jobs. For the last 3 or 4 years I've been doing this full-time. I can't even imagine, I wouldn't be able to do this work if I had another job on the side. Even if it was part-time, I wouldn't be able to spend this much time on AV, because with AV, I don't have a day off because most of our work is obviously online, so I don't have a day off, and I spend more than 8 hours sometimes working on AV every day, so there's definitely no room for any other job, and I don't want to anyway. If I have enough money, I would like to start my own business, which is obviously going to be a vegan business, something that I'm passionate about in near future. Hopefully I can save up enough money and I can do that. But it would be something that would have to run itself, so I don't have to take away from my work for AV. No worries, Mia. Yeah, I have heard a lot of opinions about palm oil, so I've done a lot of research on that, and yeah, you could argue that other farming of other products like soy or other products are actually more unethical, if you will. So palm oil is no different to any other oil. It doesn't question your veganism. I love how half of the questions are speak Spanish, I don't speak English. What are you saying? All right, last question. Should our pets be vegan as well? Yes. I recommend referring to your animal companions as animal companions instead of pets. When you say pets, it kind of promotes this idea that we own them, like a slave master, like I own my dog. So if you have a dog or a cat, and I believe that if you do, you refer to them as your baby, because that's what I used to do, and that's how I would feel. So just refer to them as your animal companion, and yes, they can be vegan, and they should be vegan, because otherwise you're killing hundreds and thousands of other animals to feed that one animal that you have at home, and that is not ethical. I don't know how someone can justify that, but I did talk about this a little bit. If you're referring to dogs especially, I did get into detail with this, so I recommend going back and watching the entire live stream, or at the start of the live stream I covered that, and there are so many good resources online that you can find information on cats, dogs, or other animals being vegan. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I love what you and Paul do. AV is awesome. Thank you, Paul. We love you too. We really appreciate your support. Thank you everyone for joining me on this live stream. I love hanging out with you all as always, and in a few days keep an eye out for my next interactive workshop. It should be happening on Tuesday or Wednesday depending on your time zone, but we'll post about it beforehand, so make sure you tune in and join me for that one. Otherwise, just make sure that you do some activism online. If you're still in lockdown and not able to go to the cube, just make sure that you speak up for the animals in whatever way you can. by making posts or sharing posts, making videos, etc. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Laura. You're the best. All right, love you all. Take care.